of us tend to believe that poverty is the main hindrance in our African countries, but proponents argue that financial literacy is the cause of this poverty. Ladies and gentlemen, join us here at the debate circle as we witness the ultimate showdown between Mang'u High School and Maryhill Girls' School as they tackle the motion that states the lack of financial literacy in the youth is the main cause of poverty in Africa. And with the motion again, the lack of financial literacy in the youth is the main cause of poverty in Africa. Proposing this motion is Mang'u High School and opposing this motion is Maryhill Girls. All the best to both teams on stage. For speaker proposition side, you have 3 minutes.
This is a black canvas, and I'm here today to paint a picture, no, a masterpiece on why financial illiteracy for that matter, is the main cause of poverty in Africa. First of all, let us understand this motion. What does financial literacy mean? It is the knowledge, understanding, and skills of manipulating finances to generate wealth. Examples of these skills are investing, budgeting, saving, borrowing, and protecting wealth acquired from manipulating these finances. Financial literacy, lack of financial literacy, is painted as the main cause of poverty in Africa. Another key term in this motion is youth in Africa, which means this motion constrains us to youth in Africa specifically. We are not saying that there are not other problems that cause poverty in Africa. What we are saying is that financial illiteracy is the main cause of poverty in Africa, meaning if resources were to be allocated to solve problems that are facing Africa, the lion's share should go to financial illiteracy. I know our opposition side will come and tell us that examples of other problems are political instability, insecurity, corruption, unemployment, poor leadership, population growth, climatic conditions, and illnesses. But I'm here to tell you, even if, let's picture this world where there's no political instability, everything is perfect. Basically, this is an ideal world. In this ideal world, people have money, yes, but do they know how to use it? No, because they lack financial literacy. Now, which makes me move on to my first point. Financial illiterate people have limited economic participation in money-making and wealth-generating activities, because these people, first of all, they squandered their money by using it impulsively without budgeting, because they do not have the financial literacy on how to budget, how to save their money, how to structure it in a way that will last them for a long period of time, meaning they will misuse this money. And the youths, specifically between 19 to 24, being the majority of Africa's population, means they handle most of the liquid cash in circulation in Africa. And if they misquander this money, how will they generate wealth? How will they become sustainable, be economically sustainable in the future? According to the Global Financial Literacy Survey conducted by Standard & Poor's Financial Services LLC, only about 24% of adults, majority of which are the youth, are deemed financially literate in 2014, meaning a staggering 76% of them are financially illiterate and don't have the financial know-how of how to sustain themselves in the future. This just shows us that the youth do not know anything about financial literacy. They do not know how to invest, they do not know how to budget, they do not know how to save, they do not know how to protect the wealth gained from using these skills. Which takes me to my next point. Financial illiteracy may make the youth susceptible to fraudsters, for example, betting and drug peddling. If these youths don't know how to invest, don't know how to use these skills to invest in places that are legal, they may use them in illegal places, which makes them susceptible to fraudsters, betting, and drug peddling, which will just cause them to stagnate in poverty. That was my time. I think the canvas has been laid the foundation. I'd like to welcome the opposition side. Thank you.
Financial literacy. It's very sad and disregarding that we think that the youth in Africa lack financial literacy. Ebi Nafula from the Maryhill Girls High School, here to strongly oppose the motion that states the lack of financial literacy among the youth is the main cause of poverty in Africa. Now, the problem is not the fact that the youth lack financial literacy. How can I prove this, you may ask? Let me take you back home. According to a research carried out by the Ministry of Education in the year 2018 in 200 schools, high schools to be exact, it shows that 60% of students take business as a subject. And one may argue, in the case that prepositions comes and argues, what about the other 40%? I will say that business is not the only subject that teaches about financial literacy. There's this topic in mathematics called money, and I'm very sure that most of us have learnt it. On to my first point, financial literacy. On to my first point, corruption. Now, what is corruption? Corruption is dishonest or fraudulent conduct, mainly done by those in power, mainly including bribery. Now, let me take you to Uganda. Who is the president of Uganda? Yoweri Museveni. And how long has he been in power? Since 1986. Why is this? Do you think it's because that people like the way he rules? No, it is because of corruption. And why is this? The youth who have these financially literate skills, they are not being given chances. So because of corruption, they are not getting the chances that they should have. Because there are so many other youth who are capable of doing the things that are being done. Another very known journalist, Jeff Koinange. He has been there from time, let me even say, when I was born, I still found him in journalism. And why is this? Does this mean that there are no other journalists that know how to present news? This is not the case. It is because this youth who even have this financial literacy that Team Preposition is saying that are not getting these opportunities. And this is very unfortunate. With that, with those few remarks, I hope I've been able to convince and not to confuse you on why I think that financial literacy is not the main cause of poverty among the youth in Africa. I rest.
A wise man once told me that wisdom is knowing that you know nothing. So, to Team Opposition, please try to be wise so that you may realize that knowing everything is not right. And so, you may call me an artist, for I'm here to continue the painting which my friend has started, a masterpiece in fact, showing you that the lack of financial literacy among the youth is the main cause of poverty in Africa. And so I'd like to begin with some rebuttals. The first opposer said that, according to the Ministry of Education, that 60% of high schoolers take business. But let me tell you this. Out of the 60% who take business, according to alloafrica.com, dated 2020, it is said that only 38% of the youth in Kenya are deemed financially literate. And so, out of these 60%, imagine that only 38% of them are financially literate. Please update your statistics. And so, I'll go on to my first point, which is impact on economic development. Okay, so a population with low financial literacy hinders overall economic development. Why is this? This is because the members of this population do not understand how to handle funds and money efficiently. And that brings about less economic growth and innovation This brings about less economic growth, innovation, and productivity as they're unable to make informed financial decisions. Let me echo the words of my first proposer. He said that according to the Global Financial Literacy Survey, that in sub-Saharan Africa, a staggering 76% of the people are financially illiterate. So, out of all of these 76% who are financially illiterate, how do you expect them to grow an economy? Okay, moving on to my second point. Without the necessary skills needed for navigation of financial niches and opportunities needed for building wealth, these financially illiterate are actually going to perpetuate a cycle of poverty across generations. Okay, what do I mean by this? Take, for instance, a youth 18 years, fresh out of high school, has not been taught anything about how to manage his funds. If he's ignorant enough as, if he's as ignorant as most of the youth, he's not going to try and learn how to manage finances. And this is going to bring about a cycle where others can also not learn. And with the last stroke of a paintbrush, my time is up.
Financial illiteracy. Is that really the main cause of poverty among the youths in Africa? Eric Njoki from the Maryhill Girls High School here to strongly oppose the motion that states that lack of financial literacy is the main cause of poverty among the youths in Africa. Supposingly, I own a company, or two, I'm financially literate. I have what it takes to run this company. But what of the rising of prices of economic resources, the inflation, the skydiving? What much can we do about that? Nothing. And even in referral to the research that was conducted by the University of Cape Town, that was in 20th July of 2020, the rate at which companies are being lost due to bankruptcy is 1.5%. What much can you do? When you lose that company, you'll have no source of income. Rebuilding a company at this stage that we are in is so hard. You'll basically end up to start to zero. And that is impossible to even get at the top again. And with no source of income, then definitely you'll end up to poverty. With that, I rest my case.
Oh, okay. Is this Vincent Van Gogh? Oh, okay. Thank you. So that was my good friend Vincent Van Gogh, who was asking for my help to paint a picture, a masterpiece, that financial illiteracy is the main cause of poverty in Africa. Why am I saying this? I'm saying financial illiteracy is the main cause of poverty in Africa because it's the main cause of poverty in Africa because once you are financially illiterate, you have limited access to financial services. What do I mean by this? First of all, there's something that you have to understand, is that youth are the most in Africa, as in the population of youth is the most in Africa. So once you are financially illiterate, us as youth, we will not be able to pump money into the economy. Once you get money, we'll be doing things that are not sensible with that money. We'll be doing things like, we will be misusing our money in ways like, let's say, betting and doing other things that do not add value to our lives, that do not add value to the money that we have. So, if you're financially illiterate, it contributes to limited access to banking and other financial services among the youth. What do I mean by this? If you're financially illiterate, you will not have equal access to economic opportunities among the youth, such as you will not have equal opportunities to you will not have equal access to financial opportunities. What am I saying by this? If you do not have the knowledge on how to do something, there's no way that you're going to have the right exposure in order for you to undertake it. What am I saying by this? I'm saying if I do not know anything about banking, if I do not know anything about how to manage my money, I will not be exposed to banking. I will not know what banking is. I will not be able to build up my assets so that one day I can go and build that empire. So that one day I can go and build myself, build my family, and consequently build my nation. And another thing, many young people in Africa do not have bank accounts or access to formal financial institutions due to lack of understanding about how these systems work, making it difficult for them to save or access credit. This all goes back to when I say, if you do not have the knowledge on how to do something, there's no way that you will be exposed to opportunities that arise as a result of that activity. So if I do not have any financial literacy, I will not be able to access things such as banking. And another thing, I will not be able to build my assets, which will lead to inadequate planning for the future. Team Opposition came here and said about Jeff Koinange. It's true, Jeff Koinange is actually a very successful person. Jeff Koinange, actually he's one of the richest entrepreneurs in Africa. Jeff Koinange started his career as a youth. If he did not have financial literacy, he would not be able to build up his assets. Jeff Koinange is actually a very rich person. So, if he did not have financial literacy from the beginning, he would not be able to build up his assets. He will not be able to be where he is right now. Because that knowledge of financial literacy that Jeff Koinange had from his youth is what is enabling him to go and succeed in life. If I do not have knowledge on financial literacy, I am a youth. I am still in my working days. I work. But this money that I'm getting, I'm using it wrongly. I am misusing it. I am not doing the right things with my money. What is consequently going to happen? I will suffer in the future. And why is this? because I will not have anything in the future. The money that I had right now, I will have misspent it, I will have misused it. And with that, I rest my case. Thank you.
The proposing team has said much, yet so little at the same time. To the first proposer, you talked about lack of entrepreneurship, but have you thought of financial officers that can help you manage your money? Food for thought. To the third proposer, what evidence is there that Jeff Koinange is financially literate? Food for thought. And to the second proposer, you've talked about spending money unwisely. This does not necessarily mean that the person is financially illiterate. This can be caused by factors such as peer pressure. Food for thought. My name is Stephanie Werimo Karaoke from the Maryhill Girls High School, standing here boldly to oppose the motion that states the lack of financial literacy is the main cause of poverty among the youth today. Now, why is this the side that is worthy of support? First and foremost, in this day and age, you'll find that, yes, someone has the knowledge, yes, someone has the skills, and most importantly, someone is financially literate. But despite all this, they are still struggling with poverty. Why? You may ask. There are two diseases that are really killing our youth's financial state. One of them is ignorance, and the other one is misplaced priorities. Take a look at Kenya. Take a look at South Africa. There's this thing that is becoming very common among the youths, the party culture, where every weekend they'll get out, spend money anyhow, drain their pockets dry. Money that could have been used to start and sustain businesses that would have helped them live suitable livelihoods is being drained. According to a global survey conducted by the CNBC Africa, more than 60% of youths as of last year, which is more up to date as compared to your research, the majority, 60% of youth, are financially literate. Financial illiteracy may be the third or even the second main cause of poverty, but it is certainly not the main. With that, I rest my case rather than arrest my case. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll begin by answering some of your questions. Number one, you asked that, well, how is Jeff Koinange? How do you know that Jeff Koinange is financially literate? As we all know, which is common knowledge, that Jeff Koinange is one of the richest people in Africa. And tell me this, how can you be rich if you do not know how to manage your finances? Food for thought. Secondly, you said that they were financial officers. Now tell me, for these financial officers to be given this title or name, shouldn't they need to have skills on how to manage money? Food for thought. And so, what I'm trying to put across is that, yes, we accept that there are other factors that cause poverty, but dealing with these factors only and leaving out financial literacy may not be sufficient to eradicate poverty entirely. And so what I'm saying is that let's take this one step at a time. Begin with dealing with the lack of financial literacy, so that we may able to now move down the line of priorities, solving one problem at a time. And that is my time. Melvin Mogambi, Mang'u High School. Thank you.
My panel, my audience, I do like to make a conclusion that Maryhill Girls High School has definitely taken the day because we have been able to summarize the factors that can lead to poverty rather than financial literacy. Unfortunately, our proposing team failed to answer the question how and failed to give us the facts that are related to these points they are giving. The second speaker has said you can't be rich if you lack financial literacy. What of the people who can be hired to do that for you? What if they're also lacking the basic skills? What if their plan is to manipulate your finances, which can lead you definitely to poverty? You did not answer that question. The question how was definitely not answered. And with all that, I rest my case.
We tend to believe that the quantity of greed can never meet the sanity of need. That's why our topic of discussion today was about poverty and the likewise of the youth. And the judges have just tabled in their results, and I'm as eager as you are to know the judges' results, which are as follows. Now, with a difference of just 2 points, yes, 2 points, Mang'u High have been awarded 64%. Round of applause to Mang'u High. And Maryhill girls have been awarded 62%. The winners of this debate are Mang'u High. Round of applause to both teams on stage. Until next time, it's stay entrepreneurial, smart, and artistically awesome with us here at the Debate Circle. For more content like this, don't forget to check out our socials on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and of course LinkedIn. Until next time, it's bye-bye from us.